Hey climbers, it's Ryan here and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about dating, we're going to be talking about love, romance, and we're going to be talking about the day of love, which is every February the 14th, Valentine's Day. But for this video we're going to be talking about it with a disability inspired twist. So if you, your partner, or perhaps both of you have physical or mental disabilities, then expressing your love for one another on Valentine's Day might be a little bit harder than normal. But look no further, as I'm going to be answering some questions that you may have on how to make extremely happy neurodivergent couples on the big day. By the way, for this video I'm going to be keeping it fairly PG because I don't want to be getting too into details on the more adult topics around love. Don't get me wrong, disability in love and disability and sex are very similar topics, but at the same time they are very different topics and they both deserve their own video because there's a lot of content that you can say about that. If you guys want a video on disability and sex and sexuality and libido and identity and so on and so forth, I can do this, but I'm gonna have to plan a separate video for it and make it 18+. And by the way, also for this video, none of these tips are actual proven facts. These are just tips from my knowledge and experience and my opinions on how I think disabled couples should go about their Valentine's Day. And I'm going to be using some of these tips for my beautiful girlfriend who I am seeing on the 14th, who is also disabled. And let's be fair, disabled dating is a very unique experience and you can't really describe it until you do it for real. So let's get into it. So I'm going to split this video up into 3 separate categories, which are general disabled dating, gift ideas, and after Valentine's Day. So first, general disabled dating. Now there is a lot I can say about this. I think when people talk about disabled people, the first thing that comes to mind tends to be mobility, whether you can walk or not. And I think a really important tip that I can give, and this goes for my own personal life as well, is that give your disabled partner or get your partner to give you more time to walk and move around, because if one is falling behind and the other is racing ahead, you're not going to be spending time with each other and you're not going to be talking to one another. You're not going to be getting to know your date if you don't know them that well. On that topic of communication, I would also say go to a place that interests you both and talk about topics that interest you both. Nobody wants a one-sided Valentine's Day. On the topic of venue, I would say ask your disabled partner where they would like to go and then book a table there or book a slot or a day out or book something around your disabled partner's interests. This can be a pub, a restaurant, a theatre, a zoo, or any kind of activity that would require a certain booked up slot. Now, I get it that a neurotypical person might want to surprise their partner for Valentine's Day, but as a general rule, I would be mindful of this because A, disabled people don't often get on well with surprises in a lot of cases. Not all cases, but I think a lot of disabled people like to know what they're doing before they do it. And I think to surprise their partner, as great as the intention might be, I think it might throw them off a bit because they won't know the plan for the day, and I think that might disturb a lot of disabled people. And not only that, I would also suggest, if you want to surprise your partner, be mindful of the space around them. Are they going to be able to walk around the venue? And also be mindful of any possible sensory needs or dietary requirements for that venue, if any. There might not even be any sensory issues or dietary requirements for your partner. But if there are, I would suggest that you think about this beforehand, before you book your slot. Otherwise, you're going to be in for a very uncomfortable Valentine's Day, and nobody wants that. And another big thing, don't bring up their disability on your Valentine's Day date, especially if you know it puts them off or lowers their confidence. But at the same time, don't force a conversation out of them, because if you force it, your Valentine's Day conversations won't be very natural. And I would suggest to be patient with your date as well, especially if they do have a disability. And going back to what I was saying about mobility issues, for a disabled partner, don't make your date too physically demanding. Have a nice chilled out one, if that's what you and your partner prefers. Not only that, ask them if they're happy on their date, because if they're not happy, they're not going to want to see you again. So you've got to make sure that both partners are happy on your date. On the topic of happiness, learn to accommodate your partner's own needs. Now, this does vary from person to person, but once you know the person, you'll understand what they require from you in a relationship. And I think a big part of this is actually advocating for disability rights in general. Because if you're not advocating for equality across the board, what the hell are you doing dating somebody in a marginalised group? Now, this can go for any group. This can go for any racial group, a religious group. This could go for anything. But if you don't advocate for equality with that person's group, why are you dating somebody in that group? A big part of this is treating them normally, as if they were neurotypical. Don't treat them like a child. Don't treat them as a tag-along or any kind of extra. Treat them as an adult. Treat them as a human being. The very basics go a very long way, especially with people with disabilities. And if you do this, they will respect you and they will feel more content around you. A big part of this is also, don't assume that you know what they need, because they are their own person. They can tell you that. The last thing any disabled person wants is for somebody else to point out what they think that they need. Don't forget, there is lots of ableism rooted in dating. So you have to make sure that you're keeping at least a good half of this stuff in mind, if not all of it. If needed, your disabled partner might need you to help them get ready. They might need help getting dressed. They might need help with motivation and many other things. So don't assume that the date is all about the date, because your disabled partner may need your help before the date itself. And I think another big thing is use strategy and play to both of your strengths to make sure that the date goes well. This way, I think both of you would feel loved in each other's company. And last but not least, when dating somebody who is disabled, do not, for the love of God, use their disability to get discounts. Disabled people might not say this stuff, but they will notice it in their head. And this is a big thing. Disabled people might not always know how to express things in words, but if they see something bad, they will notice it in their head, even if they don't say it. And this is the thing. Just because they don't tell you that they may have issues with the date, doesn't mean that they actually don't have issues with the date. Not everything is black and white with disabled people. Okay, so now that we've spoken about disabled dating tips in general, now let's talk about specifics about Valentine's Day. Let's talk about gift ideas, because gifts and the idea of gift giving can be very daunting. Like for me personally, I hate gift giving, not because I'm tight, but because I never know what to get people, because I never know what people want. And if I was to ask my girlfriend what she wanted, I could get it, but she would then know what her present is. So it's not really going to be a surprise as such. So this can be a very interesting and scary topic. So I'm just going to run through what I think would be very good tips for gift giving, for any occasion for that matter. But Valentine's Day especially, you want your gift to be romantic. So in a non-patronising way, if you're unsure about what your partner's potential sensory needs are, you may want to ask them this stuff before you get your gift, so that you can plan your gift around this. I'm going to give you a quick example. Say if you buy your partner chocolates. Very nice gift, a very romantic gift, but you will need to ask your partner first whether or not they like sweet food, because if they prefer savoury food to sweet food, then they won't like the chocolates. and this will lead to a very awkward encounter and a present that your partner might not even like. And this scenario will apply to all 5 senses. So you've got to make sure that you plan your gift around your partner's possible sensory needs so that you don't encounter this awkward situation. And don't forget, your gift doesn't always have to be expensive. Your date will appreciate the thought behind the gift if they can see that thought has gone into it. And something that I want to remind you guys of is that disabled people don't often get to date people, especially neurotypical people, because there's a lot of ableism rooted in the media. So your gift really can be your wild card. It can be the highlight of their day. So if your disabled partner can see that you've brought them a thoughtful gift, you will see the gratitude on their faces when you present them with the gift. And don't forget, this is Creative Climbers, so you could be creative and make your own gift. And it doesn't even have to be made with expensive equipment either. And it doesn't even have to be a physical gift. You could write a love poem or a song. Creativity knows no bounds. So you can create pretty much anything to show them your feelings. It doesn't have to be the stereotypical flowers and chocolates. And 2 big strengths of disabled people is that they pay attention to finer details and they like to think outside the box. So if you yourself are disabled and you're struggling to think of a gift for your partner, disabled or not, if you have these qualities within you, you can create your own gift. At the end of the day, money isn't everything. Now let's talk about after the date. What is the one thing that you must do for any disabled person after a date? I'll give you a clue. It's very simple. You ensure that they get home safe. And the best way to do this, in my opinion, is to book them a cab home. Public transport can bring on a lot of anxiety for disabled people, which is its own separate topic, and I can dive into this in a separate video. But to cut a long story short, ableism from passengers may make them worry for their safety, or it might make them uncomfortable, especially if they're not very streetwise. So for me personally, I am disabled, but I am fairly streetwise. And this is a skill that I've improved at over 25 years. But not all disabled people are streetwise. So it's very important that you don't make them rely on public transport to get home unless they're like me and they are happy to. And if any part of the date went badly and you know that you are at fault for that, the best thing that you can do is apologize for it. And if they accept that, then they may want to see you again. And that's what you want. You want your partner to keep on coming back. And if they do want to see you again, but the date still went badly, ask them how that problem can be rectified for future dates, and then work future dates around that issue. Dating is all about learning from past mistakes. And if you do this, then this will make them feel like you care for them. Even if the date did go badly wrong, and they don't want to see you again on a romantic level, remind them that friendship is more important than a relationship. Always remind your disabled date that friendship comes first, and remind them that you value their time as a good friend. On top of that, remind them that they are a good person. Never be bitter or spiteful if the date goes wrong. And that's a tip for disabled and neurotypical people as well. Don't react to a bad experience with hatred, with bitterness or spite, because A, that gets you nowhere, and B, that mentality won't give you many prospects for the future. So if you're currently like that, I would suggest you maybe rethink that. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Apologies if these tips may seem a bit obvious, but generally speaking, disabled people aren't normally the best at socializing, and I think disabled people might often forget normal social cues if they are out on dates, because they've got anxiety, they've got pressure, they don't feel relaxed and so on and so forth. So I think it's important to put these tips out there to A, remind disabled people of etiquette on dates and how to do things in a fair way to both partners, and B, to remind neurotypical people that disabled people also do deserve dating and romance and love. There's somebody out there for everybody, but I think some neurotypical people just need a short reminder of how to date a disabled person, because it is a difficult thing to do. You know, you can't treat a disabled person like how you would treat a neurotypical person. So I think there are lots of issues across this whole board, and I just think people on both sides of the scale just need a short reminder of what should be going on Interabled dates. Anyways, I hope these tips help you for this Valentine's Day and many, many more Valentine's Days to come. And if this is your first Valentine's Day with your partner, or if you don't know them that well, or if you are unsure on how to date a disabled person, I really hope these tips help. And I hope these tips have boosted your confidence and helped you prepare for dating disabled people. Because like I say, it is a difficult topic, and it's a huge topic. You can't cram everything into a 10-minute, 15-minute video. So if I did miss out anything, I will do a disability and dating part 2 video if this is what you guys would like to see. But if you like this one, then please give it a like and a comment and share it with your loved ones. While you're there, please subscribe to my channel and ring that notification bell down there so that you don't miss a single video. Please follow me on my social media and visit my website if you guys liked it. The links to all of those are in the description box below. My music is also in that description box below, so if you'd like to do that, you can click on those links down there. If you're a creative climber like me, then please send me your work. I would love to see what you guys can do. And if you use this video to create a Valentine's gift for your partner, I would love to see what gifts you've made. And if this is your first time here, then welcome. I'm really glad you're here, and I hope you come back to my channel very soon. And finally, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you very, very soon for a brand new video. Keep climbing high, guys. Ciao for now. I've been Ryan Mullen from Creative Climbers. Peace and love.